On this episode of Left Off the Map, Henry Terry is visiting an award-winning bar situated in Mac 1 in Hobart. In the kitchen, I'll be putting together two great combinations of dessert, cake and crumble. But to start today's episode, it's Taco Tuesday, so let's get into it. Well, it's Taco Tuesday again here on Left Off the Map, and we're doing nachos. And I know all of you purists out there when it comes to Mexican food will say nachos is not Mexican, but I think it is so loved by so many people, we have to almost adopt it as a Mexican dish. And I'm going to do my version of a chicken nacho. So I'm actually going to use chicken breast with an extra mild, super tasty seasoning mix. I'm going to char that chicken off and then cut it up and mix that chicken through our nachos. So the first thing I need to do is actually get that chicken cooked because I want it to cool a little bit before I mix it through everything. So my spice mix has already gone in. My two chicken breasts are here. So I'm going to cook those two chicken breasts in a griddle pan. Pan on, I'll wait for that to get a little bit hot. While I'm cooking my chicken, I'm going to make a salsa to go with it. So I've got the nacho salsa here, which I'm going to use to spread all through my nachos. And then I'm going to do a bit of a pico de gallo. And then I'm going to take that pico de gallo and mix it through some guacamole. So we'll get the chicken in the pan. You don't want this too hot because these are big chicken breasts. We want to cook them through to the middle without burning the outside. So not too hot. So I'll turn that down to sort of a medium, there we go, a medium heat. Now I can get my pico de gallo going. So pico de gallo tomatoes, red onion. The reason why pico de gallo is such a prolific side, it's a side in Mexico, is because it has the colours of the Mexican flag. So the red comes from the tomatoes, the white comes from the onion, and the green comes from the coriander. Now we don't need a lot of this, we've only got one avocado that we're going to mix it through. So I'm probably going to use, I'm using cherry tomatoes, and I'll probably use 8 cherry tomatoes, which I'm just dicing. So from here, I only need probably half of this. So about the same. What I've got there in red tomatoes, I want about the same in onions. So I'll turn over my chicken. Let that cook on the other side. But while that's cooking, I'm going to go out and pick some coriander from the garden. We'll come back, put our coriander in our salsa, and then start to make our guacamole. My chicken's a couple of minutes away from being done, so I just want to add the last touches to our guacamole. Got an avocado here that I've sort of pre-diced. And then in on top of this avocado, I'm going to put all of those condiments for our pico de gallo and our guacamole seasoning mix. So this is going to be like a super awesome guac. And the guac here basically is a recipe on its own. Our guacamole spice mix. Mix all that together. And then a pinch of salt. Our guacamole, which is going to be the topper of the dish, that's done. Set that there. See how our chicken's going. I reckon that's done. I need to allow my chicken to rest for a little bit. So I'm going to take it out, sit it on my board. Decided I'm definitely not going to be using both of these chicken breasts because they are ginormous. That one is huge. Probably just use this one here. But what I'm going to do is cut up my chicken breast, mix it with some cheese in a bowl, and then start sort of layering my nachos together. So the first thing is a little layer of our corn chips down first. Then into this bowl is going to go my diced chicken, my nacho salsa, and my cheese. That's going to be the base of our sort of meat or flavour component for our nachos. We're going to layer some corn chips, then that mixture, and then into the oven to get nice and crisp and golden and beautiful. And when it comes out, when you take a serve out for yourself into your bowl, you'll top it off with some of this guacamole. It's going to be absolutely divine. So just allow this to cool and then we'll work our way through that process. My nachos are done. They've been in there for about 25 to 30 minutes. They can come out. Oh, they smell exactly like nachos should smell. Look at that. So to finish this off, you need a spoon, serving spoon. Take out a chunk of your, listen to that. The good thing about this is you don't just get, there's layers of flavour through it. Oh, yum, yum. Oh, look at that. So a little morsel of beautiful nacho goodness. And then on top of that, some guac. Extra mild, super tasty chicken nachos with a nacho topping. Absolutely phenomenal. I think I said the other day that that was my favourite Mexican dish. I think this one might be the favourite Mexican dish, the favourite Taco Tuesday dish that we've done this season so far. So give it a try and let me know what you think.
Beck, thanks for having me at Evolve in Mac 1. You have quite the selection of spirits here, and I hear you've won Best Hotel Bar in Australia this year.
Yes, yeah. So at the National Australian Bartender Awards, we were lucky enough to come away with 2 awards. So we've got the Hotel Bar of the Year there, and then we also came away with Cocktail Bar in Tasmania as well. So
yeah, there's a massive selection of spirits here, but you should get. It should be like Design of the Year as well. What are they? There are fossils everywhere. It's absolutely phenomenal. Can you tell me a little bit about some of these relics?
yeah, so they're found all over the world. So mainly from Europe and America, but they date back to like millions of years old. It's crazy, yeah.
There's a pretty imposing figure right here. What is it?
So that one is a Siberian cave bear.
I mean, it sounds mean, doesn't it?
You don't want to come across that one in the forest, would you?
No.
This one in particular is extinct. I think the closest relative is like the brown bear. So.
The brown bear.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's a mean-looking bit of a bit of skeleton, that's for sure. So tell us a little bit about your spirits, and I'm sure you would stock a huge range of Tassie spirits, which we are now renowned for.
Yes. Yeah, we definitely have a lot of spirits here, and a lot of Tasmania stuff takes up a lot of the shelves too, most importantly. So
it's been amazing over the last decade or so. I've noticed this huge explosion of distillers all around Tassie. As someone in the industry, like, how do Tassie spirits compare?
So we've got quite the selection. We've got the Lark and Sullivan's Cove. So it all sort of started with Lark back in 1992, or even before then, 1990. Bill Lark actually changed the law. So previously it was illegal to distill. So he got that law changed, and Lark was the first distillery in 1992.
Yeah.
And then 1994 came Sullivan's Cove. Yeah, and then we've got Overeem. So there's, it just keeps going from there.
So the industry's just exploded thanks to Bill Lark in '92, the industry's being able to thrive, and now we've got a whole bunch of producers all over the state.
Yeah, 100%.
Amazing.
And ever since Sullivan's Cove won the Best Single Malt Whisky Award in 2014, that sort of put us, Tassie Whisky especially, on the map.
So that single malt award, that was for the whole world, wasn't it?
Yes.
So worldwide,
Yeah.
best whiskey in the world.
Yeah, so that definitely kind of started this crazy boom, and I don't think the producers have ever been able to catch up ever since.
I don't think so. It is amazing. You can pop around, just about any corner here in Tassie. You can sort of pop into a distiller now. It's incredible. And it's such I find it quite amazing. It's such a young industry is taking it to, your traditional Scotch whiskies and beating them in competitions. And it all only started 30 years ago.
I know, it's pretty crazy, and it's such a supportive industry as well. So you've got like Casey Overeem, he actually taught Bill Lark how to distill. So
Oh my God.
it's like all these, big distillers are all come together, and
Isn't that Tasmanian?
Yeah,
Everyone's just all connected anyway.
Yeah, that's it.
I noticed over here there is some beautiful looking bottles of whiskey and other spirits locked away in cupboards. What's so special about those ones?
That's our spirit keep. It's sort of an exciting, exclusive experience. So you can purchase a bottle in the keep there, and we keep it stored away and under lock and key or safe for you. So every time you come in, you can grab a dram or two, or we can create a cocktail with it. We do,
Wow, you
It's
just
yours
keep it for later. It'll feel very special
That's
coming
it,
in.
yeah.
If there was one bottle in there, the most special of them all, which one would it be?
I'd have to say the old-fashioned copper, so the OFC. It's a 1993 bourbon, so from Kentucky, from the Buffalo Trace Distillery.
If I wanted to order one of those, how much would it cost me?
Oh, just a cheeky $10,000.
Okay.
Yeah, nothing.
We'll leave that for another day. Yeah. Perhaps we could order something a little bit more in my price bracket.
Sure, we can find something.
So what's your most popular drink here at Evolve?
That's a tough question.
What's your specialty? If I was going to have anything at all.
So either a cocktail or definitely a Tasmanian whiskey are the most popular go-tos here. I guess, when in Rome,
Yeah, well, I'm not a big cocktail drinker, but I love gin. What can you recommend?
We can always start you off with a martini. Now, these can be quite adventurous. Different gins sort of bring out different flavours, so it depends what you're sort of looking for. I quite like to use the Poltergeist gin there.
Cool.
So that's down a Sheen Distillery, just outside of Hobart. So they're located in Pontville, actually, and they've got like old stables, and they've converted them into these massive. They've got all their stills inside the old stables, and it's just amazing. Yeah.
It
sandstone.
sounds like pretty standard, or not standard's the wrong word, but a typical Tassie story. Convert the stables into a distillery. Well, yeah, let's give that a go. That'd be great.
Sure.
thanks very much for your time, Beck. I'm going to sit back and just take it all in with this martini and enjoy the Evolve Bar.
Thanks for stopping by.
I'm going to make basically a large muffin. I'm going to make a blueberry crumble cake. So I'm going to put a crumble mixture on the top to give us some different texture. But it's basically a blueberry muffin mixture that we're going to use and then put a crumble on top. So I need a cup of flour, plain flour. You can use self-raising flour if you want, but I'm trying really hard to keep this nice and moist and dense, so I'm going with plain flour. And then another 3/4 of a cup. So 1 3/4 cups of plain flour. My sugar. I need 1 cup of caster sugar. And there's a cup there. Look at that. Good measuring by my team. Some cinnamon. Just a little bit. Cinnamon goes really well with blueberries. Little pinch of baking powder. Then mix all those dry ingredients together. Make a well in the middle. My egg, 1 egg. Milk, about 3/4 of a cup of milk. Just put that on top of your egg. And then I need about 1/3 of a cup of our oil, of olive oil. Now, depending on sort of whether you want olive oil flavour in your cake, you can go for a strong olive oil or a light olive oil. This is a medium. I actually don't mind the grassy flavour of olive oil in the cake. About 1/3 of a cup. And then vanilla. I'm going to bring that together. Now I want this batter to be slightly thicker than a normal cake batter because when I put the blueberries in, they will break down a little bit and I'll drop some of their moisture. I just mix my egg until it breaks up in that middle bit. Another way that people keep moisture in cakes is you use almond meal or desiccated coconut. So that's pretty close. Be happy with that. I'm just going to put a touch more. If you were trying to make a nice, light, fluffy cake, then you would put this in a stand mixer and you'd whisk your eggs with your sugar, your butter with your sugar until it was nice and light and pale. Then you'd add your eggs one at a time because you're doing everything there to try and keep the batter nice and light. Because we don't mind this being dense because it's going to be nice and dense and moist, we can just mix it in a bowl like this. All right, that's the consistency that I'm after. So it's slightly thicker than a normal cake consistency. So now we'll add our blueberries. Add a cup and a half of blueberries. Mix them in. So that's my cake mixture done. That's going to go in there, just a springform container. And now I need to put together a crumble mixture to go on top of that. So I'll clean down a little bit here and then we'll get onto our crumble mixture. The crumble ingredients, I've got brown sugar, flour, rolled oats and macadamia nuts and butter. So we want the crumble to be short, so we're going to use butter for this. So I need about 1/3 of a cup of rolled oats, 1/3 of a cup of flour, 1/3 of a cup of brown sugar, about 75 to 100 grams of butter. So that's about 50 About 100 there. Dice that into little cubes and throw that in. And then a little pinch of salt. I'm going to rub all those ingredients together between my fingers and make a short crumble. Macadamias, just want to chop these up about the same, about 1/3 of a cup worth. So everything's sort of 1 to 1 to 1. About 1/3 of a cup of macadamias. Chop those, pop those in as well. They'll go in once we've rubbed all this together. So you're almost starting this like you would start scones, where you rub the butter into your flour. And this is how you create a short batter. So the more flour that you rub, the more butter, that you rub into your scones, the shorter they'll be. The less butter, obviously, the stretchier they'll be. All right, so I'm going to mix all this together, rub it between my fingers until it resembles breadcrumbs, and then put my macadamias on top of that, and then I'll sprinkle that on top of my cake mixture. Crumble's been added to the top of the cake. It's gone into the oven, 160 degrees for about 45 to 55 minutes. Classic way of checking a cake, just to skewer in. If it comes out clean, it's ready to come out. It should be nice and golden on top with all that butter in the crumble.